Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Internet world. Welcome to Auto Merch Talk, a little podcast we put together to talk about automotive stuff. We work for a company named Car Data. We take pictures and videos of cars at dealerships. So if you're looking for a full-time photographer on your lot, Car Data can help. As usual, guys, today we have a few articles for you guys to share with you. And I'm here with Edwin Gomez.
What's up, guys?
And we're going to start it off for you guys.
We're going to start it off with the number one person that we're always talking about.
Yep, Elon Musk.
And Tesla.
Even
though Elon Musk is in the news for other things nowadays, but
right.
We'll keep those little birds on the side. Tesla gets a big win with legacy car makers. Elon Musk group, which dominates the electric vehicle market, has just won a victory that can cost rivals millions of dollars.
Wow, I wonder
Millions.
Tesla dominates the electric vehicle market, and its lead is likely to grow.
Sorry.
That's because the Model 3 and the Model Y is one of the few automakers able to meet demands in the face of supply chain disruption. So they're the only company that could meet all the demands for their cars.
And they're actually going to officially open its fourth plant in Austin in 2 days on April 7th.
April 7th, wow.
Wow. That's going to enable it to produce over 1.5 million vehicles in 2022.
That's crazy.
Over the 930,000 that it did last year.
That's
crazy.
So
that's a pretty big jump. They're going to be knocking out all of these competitors, especially like these GMs and stuff. They want to do 100,000 vehicles.
And they're having a hard time with 100,000 vehicles.
Tesla is going to take off. They're going to either have to use their plan or I don't know. Right. They're going to have to follow a little bit of what Tesla is doing. But that was the Tesla news. Tesla is basically going to just blow up.
Well, the reason for that is because there's penalties and fines for car makers whose vehicles don't meet the fuel efficiency requirements. And these fines can cost up to $15 per car for models 2022. So that adds up really fast.
It does when it's millions of vehicles.
When you sell millions of vehicles a year, that adds up.
15.
Tesla doesn't have to worry about that because it meets the requirements, all the standards. They don't have to pay these kind of fines that companies like Stellantis will pay as much as $572 million that the company estimates to pay in fines and fees.
Wow, $572 million by the company's estimates.
Right.
This is what that rule will cost. Wow.
So that's why Tesla is ahead. It's going to be ahead.
They only expected the inspections to be about 138 in North America.
Right.
Wow. Tesla is just again.
But get this, the standard is, they say the standard should be around 54.5 miles per gallon by 2025. I don't know what car can do that. Even a hybrid can't do that.
Yeah, but I think these are light vehicles because it says these standards require light vehicles to have a fuel consumption of 54.5 miles.
Which light vehicles that does that?
I don't know. Maybe the little teeny weeny.
The smart car?
The smart car.
I doubt the smart car does 54 miles per gallon.
I mean, 54.5 miles per gallon, like gas-wise.
That's huge.
That's huge.
And the Trump administration and legacy automakers considered this goal unachievable.
Yeah, that's why he kind of backed it up.
So, I don't know if it's fair that they charge him those $15 fee per car.
It's not. Automakers are actually worried about it. They're saying that the penalty hike could cost the whole industry about $1 billion annually.
Wow.
Automakers would pay $294 million for model 2019 vehicles or new rate.
Does the consumer pay for that, you think? For that extra $15 per vehicle?
They'll probably find a way to put it in there somewhere.
Right.
Because it is. Yeah, you're right. And since it is only $15, I mean, if you added $15 to a sticker price of a car, that's like nothing.
Right.
But I guess maybe, I don't know, we don't know the workings of that. Because
no,
they wouldn't be making such a big deal about it if it
right.
wasn't. So I'm pretty sure there's something that they cannot do. Way to go, Tesla.
Tesla's doing good. Speaking of EVs, the 2022 Mercedes AMG EQS sedan will be priced at $148,000.
$148,000.
That's just starting price.
That's going to come out soon. It's in the late spring.
Late spring.
So in the next couple of months, maybe we'll see one in the area. $148,000. $148,000.
Right. The AMG EQS sedan has an output of 649 horsepower and a boost function of 751 horsepower.
It's a beast.
It's a little beast, yeah. It's a good-looking car, too.
Yeah, it features variable all-wheel drive, continuously distributing the torque between the front and the rear axles.
Right.
It has this real axle steering that's kind of like an all-wheel steering type of thing.
The new thing.
Yeah.
The Hummer has it.
And actually, back when I sold Mitsubishis, the Mitsubishi Eclipse had it. The Mitsubishi Eclipse was all-wheel drive, all-wheel steering. It didn't mean that all of them turned, but the back wheels, when you were turning, would make a little bit
Slightly
of a,
turn, right.
a little bit of a shift.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is gonna have that.
So it adds for better steering handling.
Yeah, and it's gonna be available in rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive.
Okay.
Obviously, I would.
I think for Mercedes, it's not a bad starting price.
It's not. It's
when it's
not.
competing with other like Porsche.
And it is. This is the EQS. The AMG variant cockpit has a 56-inch curved high-resolution hyperscreen.
That's crazy.
So that's like your whole dash.
The whole dash is a screen.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So for 150, yeah, it sounds like a lot. But again, it's a Mercedes, it's an AMG. It's got all the toys, all the bells and the whistles. It's gonna be electric. It's from 650 to 750 horsepower.
Right. It's got a 350-mile range.
350-mile range, 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds.
That's crazy. I mean,
that's
a little sports car.
Yeah, that's definitely. Actually, there's vehicles out there now that don't have half of this.
Right.
And they're still on gas.
Right. Customers will also receive complimentary 30-minute DC fast charging with the Electric America network for the first 24 months.
Wait, but complimentary 30-minute, so one time in the 24 months? Kind of confused. Customers receive complimentary 30-minute DC fast charging with the...
I guess each time you go is 30 minutes you can fast charge your car. You get 30 minutes to fast charge your car.
That's nice.
That's the way I would see it.
That's nice. And the 30 minutes of fast charge will probably get you a couple of 100 miles.
Right. Probably with that price tag,
Yeah.
I would assume that. It's a special battery.
I'm going to go and get mine this weekend.
What's next?
Next, GM and Honda. Yes, GM and Honda.
You would never think that.
But they're going to get together because they feel like together, the automakers, they'll be able to do a global production of millions of EVs.
Affordable EVs.
Affordable EVs together, which is more than they could do separately.
Right.
By the way, that's why it makes sense.
The vehicle will be based on the new global electric architecture powered by GM's Ultimatum battery technology.
So that's also good for Honda because Honda gets to jump in on
right.
there. And God knows what GM is going to be hopping on.
Well, they'll be putting their heads together to come up with something good. And it's two good brands.
GM said that the Equinox EV, due in 2023, next year, it's going to start about 30 grand. That's not bad for nowadays.
For the price that we're seeing?
For a price that we're seeing, you're going to have an EV vehicle. The Equinox is not, it's an SUV. It's not too big. It's like a mid-size SUV, maybe smaller.
It's smaller, right?
Yeah, it's a smaller, but it's not that bad. For 30 grand, EV vehicle.
It's a good starting point, I guess.
I think that's a good, that is a good starting point.
Okay. So we'll see what happens with GM and Honda. Now, Ford recalls 737,000 U.S. vehicles over software and fire risk issues. That's a lot of vehicles.
Well, what's scary to me is the recall is on 350,000 2020 to 2022 Ford Escapes and 2021 to 2022 Ford Bronco Sports. Why is that important? Because in a lot of our last podcast,
right,
people were waiting for their Broncos.
I know.
Which means now they got them, and now they got to worry about this.
Just recall.
It's
not a small recall.
And it's not. It's like it develops an oil leak that can cause a fire.
Right.
The engine oil separator housing could crack and develop an oil leak.
Wow. So
that's gonna be huge.
If you have an Escape or a Ford Bronco these years, 2020, 2022, get to your dealership.
They've actually reported at least 8 fires already.
Right.
Yeah.
But
They're also recalling 2021, 2022 F-150, Ford Maverick, Expedition, Lincoln Navigator, F-250. This is nuts. 391,000 vehicles are being recalled because a tow trailer equipped with an electric or electric over hydraulic brake system, which might not work. So it's not braking.
That's not good. Again, if you have these vehicles, guys, check your dealership for these recalls.
Do check if you have a newer Ford, check it out, because it seems to be almost all the Fords.
Right.
2021.
That's crazy.
That's not good. Now, let's get into somebody that we almost hardly never speak about.
Right, Volkswagen.
Volkswagen is planning a self-driving taxi delivery van based on ID Buzz. Now,
you know what the ID Buzz is, right?
I do not.
It's like a little bus. It's like a little minivan type of vehicle.
Is it autonomous or something?
No. It's
okay.
Just a regular car that they're doing.
Okay.
But the platform is based off the ID Buzz.
Yep. So they're gonna do a fully electric vehicle based on that vehicle that you say, the ID Buzz.
Right.
And it will use self-driving technology.
Right.
This is not going to be. This is more not for consumers. This is more for like businesses and stuff.
Right. Special purpose vehicle.
Yeah, aimed at driverless operations.
Right.
Like robo taxis, delivery services, or shuttles.
Right.
That's very interesting. They're planning on having all of those out there. In 2025, the ID Buzz will be launched as a robo taxi in Hamburg.
Right.
And by 2030, Volkswagen wants to establish similar services in 50 cities in Europe and North America.
That's crazy.
I mean, I think that would be nice for like those shuttle buses and stuff. I mean,
nice.
We have those here in Florida. There's just little shuttle buses. I mean, sometimes they just take people to their
autonomous in Florida. Can you imagine autonomous in Florida? Just imagine Atlantic Boulevard.
Yeah, but I'm sure when we get to the autonomous days, they're probably not going to be mixing us with the autonomous vehicles.
You don't think so?
It's just, I don't know. In my head, it just makes more sense to have them have their own lanes or their own whatever.
Their own separate lanes, separate routes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, again,
that's a whole new.
I'm not into infrastructure.
That's what I was gonna say. It's a whole new infrastructure.
Yeah, but it just makes sense to me because all you need is one lane. You're not gonna have all these vehicles all the time on the road, so you just make one lane for the time. It's kind of like, I don't know, HOV lane or something like that.
Right.
Let's say.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Let's see. We'll have to wait until 2025 to figure it out.
To see what happens.
But that's good news. They're working on some autonomous shuttle buses.
And for our final article, Toyota joins Tesla in developing self-driving.
Wait, what?
Toyota joins Tesla in developing self-driving tech with low-cost cameras. So instead of using those expensive sensors and LiDAR, they're trying to use cameras, low-cost cameras, to do their self-driving tech stuff. Pretty neat.
And the reason they chose Toyota chose because they need a lot of data, and
Toyota has got a lot of it.
Toyota has just more vehicles than Tesla.
That's true.
So if you have this in all your vehicles, you're going to be able to collect a lot more data because there's a lot more vehicles out there.
That's true.
Tesla's been collecting data from over 1 million vehicles on the road that they have themselves.
Right.
And the camera's actually 90% cheaper than the sensors. So they would be saving a lot of money.
But can the cameras do what those sensors and LiDARs do?
Well, that's what this whole thing is about. That's why they put them in there, see how much data they can get, see what it can do. Toyota will still use sensors, though. Multiple sensors, such as LiDARs and radars for their robo-taxis and autonomous also. But it's a good start. It is a good start. Because it can potentially make these vehicles that we now need, because it almost feels like we need these vehicles now, EVs and all this stuff. Now, hopefully, they can find cheaper ways to make them.
Right.
Where they're not costing us $148,000 like that.
I agree.
like
the Mercedes.
Even though it's still worth it, guys.
I think
it's still worth it. It's still worth it.
The pictures I saw from it, man, they were really nice.
I did too, and it looks really nice. In the interior, it literally looks like a cockpit. It looks like you're in a spaceship almost.
It's amazing. Yeah, I'll put some pictures up on YouTube. But yeah, there you have it, guys. If you like what you hear and see, please like and subscribe. It helps us grow. And for that, till next time, guys, Take care.